Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time checking me out, welcome. My name is Aysha, and I'd love it if you subscribe down below and join the fam. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my fast and flawless minimal makeup look. This is the look that I've been rocking lately, and I think it's perfect for back to school or work if you're done with school like I am. What's exciting is I've actually partnered up with Bobbi Brown, who is sponsoring this video, to share one of their cult favorite products. This is their skin foundation stick. It's the foundation that I'm wearing today, and it really helps in just achieving that flawless face fast. Okay, so I'm excited for you guys to see this video. If you want any other back to school themed videos, let me know in the comments down below. And without further ado, let's jump into this tutorial. So I'm gonna be honest, this is the first time in a very long time that my skin has not been looking A1. I think I had an allergic reaction to the Mario Badescu Rose Water Spray. The second I sprayed that, like, my face felt tingly, so that resulted in this. I think I may have also scratched myself while I was sleeping. I don't really know what happened, but my skin is not looking too hot, but don't worry, I'm gonna show you guys how to cover that because, you know, just being real with y'all, not everyone has good skin days, but it's totally fine. It's nothing to be insecure about. So let's begin with step one, which is skin prep. So I'm gonna go in with one of my favorite primers. This is by Too Faced, and it's their Hangover RX Replenishing Face Primer. And this is the one with like coconut water in it. I also like to go in with a smoothing primer, especially now because, you know, we gotta smooth out these bumps so that our foundation can apply nicely. So this one is by Estee Lauder, and it's the Smoother Primer. Looks like that. So I'm just gonna rub this in areas where I want more smoothing, so kind of around my nose. I'm also going to pack this right over these scratches. The scratches have scabbed over, so don't worry, I'm not applying this to like a fresh wound or anything. So this will just allow any product that you put on top, in this case foundation, to smooth over nicely over any textured areas. So I went ahead and color corrected off camera. I have an entire video on how I color correct, so definitely check that out if you are interested. But next I'm moving on to foundation, and as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I have partnered up with Bobbi Brown to share their skin foundation stick, which looks like this, and mine is in the shade, what shade do I have? Golden Almond, which looks like this. And a great thing about this foundation off the bat is that they have 31 different shades. They're all available at Sephora. And I don't have to mix, guys. I don't have to mix my shades to get my perfect match. I literally have to mix like 95% of all my foundation. So the fact that Bobbi Brown has made different undertones that will suit women of color, and like a wide enough range that I could actually pick and choose, like depending on what undertone I am, like I applaud them for that. Golden Almond is the shade that I use. I use a couple other shades as well to like contour, bronze, highlight, things like that, so I will show you guys in a little bit. But I'm gonna move on to just applying this foundation. So as the name suggests, it is a skin foundation stick, so it's meant to look exactly like your skin and feel like your skin. And I have actually gotten the chance to test this out a couple times. I went to an event last week, and when I wore this, people were literally like your skin is flawless. Do you even have any foundation on? Which is the look that I'm always going for. So now that I look a little crazy, I'm gonna go ahead and blend that out with my beauty blender. So this foundation gives you like medium to full coverage. You can really tailor it depending on what you want. But since this look is gonna be for like back to school, back to work, I personally like the medium coverage. But again, if you have certain areas of your face that you want full coverage, for example, I'm probably gonna add a little more on these areas of my face, then you can go ahead and layer it and it still doesn't look cakey, which I love. So as I mentioned, it's just like super creamy, super easy to blend out. Even with just like a beauty blender, I'm literally just lightly tapping this over my face and you can see how fast that kind of blends out. Now, if you're comfortable with a brush, you can use a brush as well. I just prefer the beauty blender. And this foundation is also water, sweat, and humidity resistant. So that's really great because in the summer times in Toronto, like, we don't just get heat, like we get humidity, and sometimes it just feels so gross. And I don't know, I don't like the thick layer of foundation because then it just kind of melts off. But because, you know, this is resistant to all of those, it is perfect for any warm climate or, you know, just long days in general. I know at work and school it can get a little warm. If you know me, you know I love to travel, so it can be quite annoying, like bringing several different foundations if you're trying to mix and match with you on a carry-on. I don't know, I kind of have trust issues putting my makeup in like my checked bag. I like to keep it with me. Actually, I'm going traveling literally in a couple days from now, from the time you guys are seeing this video, so I'm definitely going to be bringing this foundation with me. I kind of want to come up close so you guys can see my skin. It literally looks like my skin. I love it so much. Like, it glows in the natural areas that my skin glows, like over here, but it's not like overly dewy, it's not overly matte, it's just a really, really nice velvet finish. So I'm going to also take the shade Chestnut, which is slightly deeper than Golden Almond, and I'm going to use this to kind of bronze up my skin. And then I'm going to go in with Cool Espresso, which is super deep, and just put a little of this in the hollows just to give myself a little bit of definition. Just gives me that nice sun-kissed glow. So I forgot to record myself putting this on, but I just put a little bit of the shade Cool Golden sort of in a check mark over here, just to bring a little bit of like a highlight to my face without being too bright. And I'm just gonna blend that out. So as you can see, those 4 shades just kind of evened out my skin tone, added a nice bronze and contour, and then also just brought a little bit of a highlight underneath my eyes. So I just love how this looks. Like, it literally looks like my skin. I'm so obsessed. I am gonna add a little, as I was saying, I'm gonna add a little bit of concealer. This is the Colourpop No Filter Concealer in the shade Deep Golden. I'm just gonna add like the slightest amount right underneath my eyes, right over here, kind of where my bags are, just to bring a little bit more light underneath the eyes. But I'm definitely not going as heavy as I normally do with concealer. I'm also gonna drag this on my lids. And to set the concealer, I'm gonna be taking my Too Faced Ethereal Setting Powder just on a little brush. So to set the rest of my face, I don't want to add any additional coverage because I want to keep the skin-like finish of this foundation, but I do want to set it down just to make sure that it stays in place all day. So this is the Makeup Forever Micro Finishing Pressed Powder in the shade 02, so it's kind of the yellow version. Now this literally has like no color to it. It's just kind of a very fine powder that sets the makeup and doesn't like change the color of it, but it does add a slight yellow undertone instead of the white one, but like barely any pigment. Because this is more of a sheer powder, it won't cover up the contour and the highlight that we did. So moving on to the eyes, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I'm not going to be doing anything crazy onto the eyes. I'm literally just going to take one shade, which is this one over here called Puree, and I'm going to just run this through my crease just to add a little bit of definition. I'm also going to drag a little bit of that on my lower lash line. And then just on the same brush, I'm going to take a little bit of this shade called Peaches and Cream, and I'm going to put that on my brow bone. This is a matte shade, by the way. So before I add mascara, I'm going to line my tight line with this Long Wear Waterproof Liner by Bobbi Brown, and this one is in the shade Black Chocolate, so it's kind of just a blackened brown, and I like to line my tight line only because when you do apply mascara, and you're not wearing any other eye makeup, like I'm not doing a wing or anything, I like my, what's it called? I like my lash line to look as dark as possible so it looks like my lashes are nice and thick. I'm going to apply a nice and thick coat of my favorite mascara at the moment. This is the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise, and I'm obsessed with it. Okay, so I did end up putting mascara on both the top and bottom, so now let's move on to blush. So for blush, I'm using the Bobbi Brown blush in the shade Tawny, number 2, and I'm just going to use that same brush that we powdered our face with. And these blushes are like super pigmented, so definitely go in with a light hand. Just a nice natural flush for the daytime. So now moving on to highlight, I don't want anything too crazy, so I'm gonna go into this new Makeup Forever highlight in the shade H106. Their shades are kind of just numbers, but it's this really beautiful gold highlight, and it goes on the cheeks very like naturally. It's not like a super blinding highlight, which is perfect for back to school / work. I love how that makes my cheeks look. So now moving on to the lips, I'm first gonna go in with the MAC Chestnut Lip Liner. Do you see how tiny this is? That's how you know you love a product, but I'm just gonna use this to line my lips. And then right over top that, I'm gonna go in with kind of like a nudish pink color. This one is by Estee Lauder, and it's their new Pure Love color, Pure Color Love lipstick. It's in the shade Raw Sugar. Now you could just leave it like this, or if you wanted, you could do a fun pop of color, which is what I normally do when I go for this minimalistic type of look. I like to play it up with a lip color, but for kind of everyday and back to school, work, that sort of thing, I kind of like my nudes. So I'm gonna go in with a gloss as well. This is their e.l.f. Champagne Glam, and this has been a huge favorite of mine lately. I love that lip color. Oh my god, it looks so good. But last but not least, I'm gonna spray my face using the Hangover 3-in-1 spray by Too Faced. And I forgot one more thing. I always like to take a little bit of my highlighter and also place that on the inner corner of my eye, just to add a little bit of brightness. As you can see, kind of the difference, especially like in the mornings. It just looks really, really nice. And that concludes this fast and flawless minimal makeup look. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, thank you so much to Bobbi Brown for collaborating with me on this video. It's always so exciting working with brands that I've like respected for so long, so I hope you guys are proud of me as well. I'll have the Sephora link to the Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation Stick in the description down below if you guys are interested in checking it out and maybe finding your color match. I do want to remind you guys that I will be traveling Tuesday night to Europe once again, and I'm so excited. So be on the lookout for travel vlogs coming up with my brother. I'm so excited to travel again, guys. But thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye, everyone.